We are across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The longtime Panther Graham Gano has us set for his start as we are underway from MetLife Stadium. Oh, a good return up past the 30. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. First carry for DeAndre Swift. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the game's first play. And it's 2nd down now.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Here's 2nd and 10. They'll stay on the ground with Swift. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 14 yards in a Chicago first down.
And that's how you get started and open up a game. Really well-blocked play. Picked up a nice chunk of yardage. And if you're the offensive line, that's exactly what you've talked about all week long in your meetings. Establish the line of scrimmage and take control. And they gave their running back plenty of room to rumble.
On 1st and 10, it's Swift. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Sometimes I think cornerbacks can benefit from the fact that quarterbacks might just forget about the idea that they might be near the line of scrimmage. How about the anticipation there, sneaking in and making a big play in the backfield?
Throwing is Williams. A throw left side, reeled in by the rookie wideout. And he's brought down. So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Looking to throw is Williams. That's complete. Rome Odunze. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12. We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down. Williams from the gun on 3rd down. And that is incomplete.
One first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
Here comes the Bears punter now. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. And the Giants ready to come out now. They'll start with a run by Tracy. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Open target here, Darius Slayton. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Straight ahead, here's Tracy. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
On that play, it was the defensive front that won the battle. They out-leveraged the offensive line, got into the backfield, and held them to no gain.
2nd and 10. They'll look to throw here. Pass is caught by Wan'Dale Robinson. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and now we've got a 3rd and 3. Nothing flashy there. The slant to the slot.
Oh, and the frustration for the defensive guys, because it's a quick play, and you know it's going to be a bang-bang play in terms of the throw and the catch, and then he's able to absorb the contact and complete it.
Motioning to the left is Robinson. So a little tardy getting everyone set, and the clock hits 0 before they could snap it.
Yeah, you can take your time and use the clock and try and get set up, but once it gets near 5 seconds, that's when you often hear a quarterback yelling, hurry, hurry, to make sure everybody's ready to get the snap off.
And the delay of game penalty makes this much more difficult. 3rd and 8. They're going to look to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. First down, Giants on a pickup of 14. Well, on 3rd down, he wanted to go to one of his most dependable targets, and that's who he found, his tight end there, to pick up the first, Charles.
And you use the proper word there, dependable, and sometimes spectacular, because tight ends nowadays, they can do it all. But they're the guys you trust, especially across the middle of the field where there's traffic. He delivers, and they pick up nice yardage.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. That's good for a first down, his second catch of the opening drive. I'll give the rookie another one on this opening drive and a first down with it. A nice start, Charles, for the first-year passer. He's come out, made a few plays, nice plays to begin this contest.
He certainly has, and if he finishes off this drive with a touchdown pass, I vote we don't call him rookie anymore.
And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Dayo Odangbo. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him. But defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that.
You like that?
Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on their heels a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, do I have that dagger play? Do I have that play and just finish them off right now? Because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early. They really had a good drive going there, but a nice recovery by the defense these past few downs, able to knock that one away on 3rd down and bring up what I think for the offense, an unexpected 4th down here.
On 4th down, here's Jamie Gillen on to punt. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10. On the ground, it's Swift to start the drive. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, partner, I don't think it's any secret that any running back wants to be able to see a hole open so that he can gallop through it. But in this case, he had to slow down. There was really no hole there, and he took a big hit in order to get that 1 yard.
2nd and 9. Once again, it's Swift. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets them a first down.
As we both know, there was a lot that went into why they made him their first-round pick this year. And part of it was what they saw in college, his playmaking ability when things break down. As soon as he saw he wasn't getting a lane to throw, he pivoted and found an alternate way to the marker.
They will run straight ahead with Swift. And he's across the 45. It'll be 2nd down.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
To throw, Williams. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Working out of the gun, Williams. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Nice back-to-back plays defensively. They're stacking momentum now. 1 incompletion, 2 incompletion. They're going for more.
Here comes the Bears punter now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. So the Giants getting the football back here for their 2nd drive. The defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Open man, that's Malik Neighbors. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
And I think as he began this throw, you saw that the area was congested, but he has a lot of confidence in his arm, and he fits that one in there nicely. They pick up the catch, not much yardage afterwards.
And from the 42 now, here's 2nd and 2. In motion left, Robinson. 2nd and 2. He finds his man Johnson. And he's going to be touched down, but he's got the 1st down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a 1st down.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. He'll look to throw. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. A nice little screen. They get 6 on 1st down.
Good call there on 1st down. And, Brandon, I'm getting better over the years at not screaming out, screen, screen, screen with my defensive training. They want to keep those pass rushers honest, and they did so there, and they wind up picking up positive yardage.
This 2nd and 4. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a 1st down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
It's caught on the right side by Robinson.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Less than a minute to go here in a scoreless 1st quarter to this point. They'll hand it to Tracy. And he's going to take this down close to a 1st down at about the Bears' 28.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. On play action, they'll throw. And that one to the right side and incomplete.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the 1st quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward. Incomplete pass. They'll pass up a field goal attempt. It would have been a 45-yarder. Now they'll go for it on 4th. They'll try and run for it. And try to push his way forward, but I think he's going to be short. And he is short. He needed 2. He only got 1. And the Bears will get the football back. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. They'll start on the ground with Swift. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. We're scoreless after 1. The Bears with the football. We get set to begin quarter number 2. Got it here at the 29 on 2nd and 8. As they've got it as we resume action. Right back to Swift again on 2nd down.
And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
To the air, Williams.
He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete.
And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down.
The key to any screen play is all in the deception. And that means everyone on the offensive side of the ball. But someone gave it up because that one wasn't very well concealed. And the defense able to rally to him and hold him for just a short gain.
It's a 44-yard punt, just 3 on the return. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10.
New York set to take the field. We've seen both of these offenses still sort of in that figuring things out phase, but I suspect some action on the scoreboard soon as they start out here 1st and 10. And the slot man goes in motion left. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep 2 eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting 2 hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit, even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. That is caught, and he will have a Giants 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, they obviously read man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield, and then he curls back inside for the completion.
Tracy going to get it on 1st down.
And a good pickup there. He gets about 6 up to midfield.
Good yardage there on 1st down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making 1st downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your 2nd down play.
Ball right on the 50-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 4. Right back to Tracy. So that run play nullified by the holding call on the tight end.
Yeah, I just think he needs to get off the ball a lot quicker and get into the block a little bit more effectively. Then he doesn't have to reach and grab and try and hold on.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. They'll look to throw. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Montez Sweat, the man that time to fight in and drop him.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and forever.
Now they set up the screen. That's complete.
And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 11, but they're still well short.
It's fourth down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the first down.
And here's Gillen on now to punt as he gets this one away.
And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback.
Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense. They've been playing the field position game thus far. No score, second quarter as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's Williams.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot that they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. But it's hard to do because when you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go towards him. This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
To throw, it's Williams.
Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Back to throw. Williams. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. That's a gain of 11. Would have been a first down if not for that penalty moments ago.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
He'll get this off to Swift.
And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30.
It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
From the shotgun, a throw for Williams. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
Here comes the Bears punter now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. Good coverage there holds him to just a 2-yard return following a punt of 44.
And they will take over 1st and 10. New York's offense back out there and set to go. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34.
Quickly into the hands of Neighbors off the RPO. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people who have to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down.
That's caught left side by Neighbors.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 13 yards as they've got the connection working. His second catch in a row, first down.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
On first down, he'll drop to throw.
That's complete. It's Neighbors.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 11 more on that one and another first down.
That's the third time on this drive that these two have connected with each other. They've got a real rapport going. And right now, it's paying off with big chunks of yardage as shown by that last play.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw.
He's got this complete to Robinson.
And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
So 1st and goal now from the 7-yard line. On the give, it's Tracy.
And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on first down, holding them to a short gain.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal.
Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give up the middle.
And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal.
This is caught. It's Robinson with a Giants touchdown.
A 5-yard touchdown catch.
And the Giants post the first points of the ball game as they take the lead here in this 2nd quarter. Well, with this rookie QB, we talk a lot about his ball placement and how good he can be at laying it right in there. I think we just saw, Charles, though, the strength of that arm. That was an absolute rifle for the completed touchdown.
It absolutely was, and let's face it, you think he was really ready to get that first touchdown? Absolutely. He threw that pass with authority, just as you described. Big-time arm right there, and let's face it, a lot of quarterbacks used to be pitchers in baseball. The fastball was usually their best pitch, and we saw it there.
Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. They'll be looking to match that touchdown from a moment ago. 7-0 is the score as they begin with a first down.
Throwing is Williams. He'll drop this one off to Swift.
No gain on the play. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning.
Looking to throw is Williams. And he'll get this into the hands of Swift once again.
And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
To throw, Williams. He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have the Bears first down. It won't be by much. He needed 3, and he got 3, barely. But the mark shows first down.
That's a big conversion there on 3rd down because they did not want to give the ball up here late in the half. They'd love to take the clock all the way down and score. This will definitely help the cause.
And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
I do think it's fair to say that they were caught off guard a little bit when he decided not to throw it on first down. But give them credit, they recovered in time to deny him the first down yardage. But it's only 2nd and short, so that run is still likely to lead to a new set of downs.
And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And this will be incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
That's complete to Swift out of the backfield.
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
It'll be a gain of 5. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Here comes the Bears punter now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. Just the 1 touchdown in that first half. 7-0 our score as we get going in quarter number 3.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Giants offense set to begin this 3rd quarter. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better, and I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
Stopped on the play by Jaquan Brisker.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10.
And that one going to come up short. Low throw.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. They'll drop to throw.
Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. Great way to convert on 3rd down there. 21 yards the play.
Whenever we talk about moving the sticks and controlling the football, there's a great example right there. Those are the 3rd downs you need to convert to win football games. We're in the 3rd quarter of this one, and this is a tight one. In order to maintain pace, keep the ball away from the other team, and put points on the board, those are the plays they need to continue to convert.
No gain there as he kept it himself at second down.
Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And his throw is incomplete.
Right now, the story of this game continuing to be the defenses, because the offenses, they're finding it difficult to establish any rhythm whatsoever.
I like how you come to us in praise of defense, Brandon, because that's exactly right. That was an incompletion forced there, but we've seen it throughout this game. Both of these defense coordinators, they're a step ahead of their offensive counterparts.
And he's got this down to the 35. The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 and a first.
I haven't met a quarterback yet that didn't enter the league with a massive chip on his shoulder if he wasn't a first-round pick. They want to show the league that they made a big mistake. Determined to get the first down there, no hesitation at all to tuck it and go. I bet he would have tried running through their entire defense if it meant reaching that marker.
And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
From the 32-yard line now, here's second down and 7.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. This is caught. Touchdown, Giants. Darius Slayton, 32 yards.
And the Giants have taken a 2-touchdown lead now.
Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes because it was jab, jab, jab. And finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away.
And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half.
Well, the opposition laid down the challenge and opening drive touchdown here to start the second half. And, Charles, now you feel like this group needs to get an answer because this all of a sudden is a 2-score game.
Yeah, you're right about that. What was a small, manageable spread to overcome? A little bit more daunting now. I think you're exactly right. Pressure is on because you don't want them getting the ball back with a chance to really extend this lead out.
And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
And that'll be a free 5 yards for the offense.
Just like a tennis match, that's just an unforced error. Stay alert, don't jump early, and give them free yardage.
They'll fake the give. Now Williams. He'll get that complete to his tight end, Cole Kmet.
First target, first catch, and a first down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
Now a 2nd and 10. Swift going to try up the middle.
And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down.
Working out of the gun, Williams. Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And they're going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 36. Right about 20 yards on the pickup. Officially, they'll say it's going to go for 19.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down, and I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a 1st down.
That pass complete to Moore.
And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 18 yards there, down to the 18, and a 1st down.
But look what we have here, a sustained drive, and that was certainly AWOL in the 1st half. They really struggled to try and move the football. But right now, they certainly seem to have the formula working. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Here's Williams.
And he's got his man on the out route. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
They just keep trying, but so far, finding no room for him to run.
None whatsoever. In fact, you run the numbers. He's under 3 yards a carry at the moment.
From the gun, here's Williams. That is caught.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Give him the 3rd down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
Here's Swift.
And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago.
DeAndre Swift
taking it in from 7 yards away.
And the Bears have got it back to within a score.
No touchdowns for them in the 1st half, but their defense kept them in this ball game. So now, maybe this can loosen them up a little because they played tight so far, and they get right back in it with a touchdown run.
Santos able to tack on the extra point, and that'll make our score 14-7. Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
And New York set to take the field.
And their lead cut in half by that touchdown a moment ago. They are up 7 as they begin this drive 1st and 10.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
And that's going to be caught downfield by Slayton. Down to the 10.
And all the way in. Touchdown, New York.
Darius Slayton
with now his 2nd touchdown of this 3rd quarter.
And the Giants are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
And remember, partner, that's a rookie quarterback back there. Apparently, he's getting the hang of this NFL thing pretty quickly.
Had 3 touchdown passes. You're right. He looks comfortable. What are they doing? Anything in particular?
Well, they keep talking about making sure they're giving him plays that fit his talents and also maybe shrinking the playbook a little bit. They did tell us that. Bottom line, he's really good.
Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away.
Devin Duvernay now returning from the end zone. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30.
Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field.
Right now, Charles, it just feels like they're trying to keep pace. They did score the touchdown last time out, but they still trail by double digits here. We'll see if this offense is once again up to the task.
Yeah, and I think that after the last drive, they've got to be pretty revved up, don't you think? Everything they were doing was working pretty well. They go back out there with the same mindset, play at the same tempo and the same pace. Still a lot of time left to make something happen in this one.
Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be second down.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender, but the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
And from the 34, here's 2nd and 4. To throw, it's Williams. He'll get this into the hands of Adunze.
And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
To the air, Williams. He's got the connection to Moore.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Now a 2nd and 2. Play action. Now Williams.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
They'll look to throw again.
That one out wide and intercepted. And the Giants are going to get it back here just past the 35.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And that's going to be incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Third quarter from MetLife Stadium. Here's a 2nd and 10. On the run is Tracy. Fighting down past the 45. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
So that time they get the tight end on the hold.
Normally he's a pretty good run blocker, but this time he just didn't get his arms extended and let go quickly enough. The flag came out as a result.
Here's 3rd and 10.
They'll set up a throw. Escaping the pressure right.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run.
He's starting to fall into the category of not fair because when he's on target throwing the ball, he's dangerous. But when you add in his ability to make plays with his feet, almost impossible.
Well, yeah, exactly. They've had trouble stopping him in the secondary. This time they've got the great coverage. Oh, he can run too.
And he's fortunate to get anything from that. Give him a yard up to the 49.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
This one is Slayton over the middle. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, Why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Could be 4-down territory even if they don't get this, but they need just a few inches here on third.
On the ground, here comes Tracy.
And he will have a first down here at about the 40.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
They'll send a receiver here in motion right.
They'll go again with Tracy.
And they string that play out nicely. He stopped before he can turn upfield. No gain, second down. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Before they can snap it, time runs out on this third quarter of play. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. It's the Giants with the football and also the lead as we get set to start quarter number 4. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Well, this drive, they're a perfect 2 of 2 on third down conversions, but they need a full 10 yards here. He'll look to throw. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
Here's Jamie Gillen now as he's on to punt for New York. And this one sails out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25. It will. 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field.
Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. To the right side, and he's got more complete. Fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
Here's a handoff to Swift.
And he'll be brought down right around the 37. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on second and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but they, as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
His 5th catch tonight, and it's good for a first down.
Good yardage on the completion there, and when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and that's going to bring up second down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
This is 2nd and 8. To throw, Williams. He'll look middle here and get it to Adunze.
Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
And the throw and the catch were just fine, but against zone coverage when you run a drag route, what you're hoping for is he makes the catch and makes someone miss, and they don't there. Very difficult route to run when everyone has their eyes back towards the quarterback and they're able to see the route develop.
Looking to throw is Williams. A quick throw there is incomplete.
Nice progress down the field, was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
That is 2nd and 10. That's to the speedster Olamide Zaccheaus. That'll leave him with 3rd and 4. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
To the air once more, Williams. He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have the Bears first down, and he was able to get it by plenty. A gain of 8 on 3rd and 3.
And in a two-score game, obviously, every play, every third down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
And there's a short throw. It's caught by Kmet.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. The Bears on the move. They've got another first down.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. They run out of the gun with Swift.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage.
Dexter Lawrence finding his way through defensively for the stop.
But that's not an easy play for a defensive end because most of his responsibility has him getting upfield and working. But how about his vision to see where the play was going? Crashed down inside and tackled him for a loss.
Throwing is Williams. Throw right side taken in by Adunze.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they've put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Williams from the gun on 3rd down.
Touchdown Bears! DJ Moore, a 5-yard touchdown.
And the Bears have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. Well, time to let those folks know who are tuning in looking for the late local news. And we may be a moment because we've got a game again.
And partner, except for those on the West Coast where it'll be seen in its regular time, right? That's the way it works, doesn't it? But how about that? Big-time drive right there. If they're going to have any chance, they needed a touchdown there, and they went right down the field and worked their way into the end zone.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away.
Here we go on the return from the 1-yard line. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
Here's the Giant offense now as they get ready to take over here.
Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll set up to throw. That's complete to Slayton. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. He's been big, 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
That ball caught by Slayton, and he's brought down. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football.
Left side, he's got Robinson.
It'll be a gain of just a yard, and it'll be second down. Back to throw again. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
The offense on third down tonight, well, they've converted 7 times and could use another right now. This is 3rd and 9. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw.
Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee you he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
Here's Jamie Gillen now as he's on to punt for New York. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line.
The Chicago offense set to get started. And it feels like the momentum has shifted. They scored, then their defense forces that last punt. And now a chance to tie the game on this possession.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And strong running there gets this up over the 15-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
Right back to Swift again on 2nd down.
And that closed up quickly there as he gets it up only to about the 17.
Yeah, so they get that one, Charles, on the right tackle.
Yeah, oftentimes in that spot, you're trying to work against a defender, trying to set the edge in the running game, and you're trying to drive around and get your body twisted so that he can't get there. Sometimes your hands get too involved.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty.
On the handoff, this is Swift.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss there. Now 3rd and 14.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Throwing middle, and it's complete. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Just a 2-yard return there following a punt of 48.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. And possession switching back to the New York Giants.
Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs, and the goal end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on second down.
Here's Tracy.
And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on third down.
And this is the worry, because sometimes you can get a little too predictable in spots like this. You know you're going to run the ball, but they know you're going to run the ball as well. And now you look up and you're staring at an important third down.
They'll run again.
He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. Here's Jamie Gillen now as he's on to punt for New York. Fielded at the 20. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially, and the Bears take over. So now the Bears down 21-14, a minute 50 to play. They need a touchdown and the PAT to tie it as they come up 1st and 10. Back to throw.
And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
He's back to throw.
They'll try and set up the screen to Swift.
And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there.
That's a nice design there, but sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger game.
Well, the crowd here at MetLife Stadium in full roar. Third down. Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
Plenty of time and 2 timeouts still at their disposal. 1st and 10 here. Oh, Adunze wide open. It's complete.
And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line.
Because they were able to work down the middle of the field, they were guarding the sidelines, trying to keep them from getting out of bounds. They took what they gave them, and it was successful.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here.
Back to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts as they stop it here with 1:07 remaining.
They'll come up now. This is 2nd and long.
They'll look to throw. Now they go screen. It's complete. He will go out right near the 35-yard line.
I wonder what was going through his mind when he got the play call. He just got sacked on the previous play. He knows they're coming after him again. A little bit of guts to stand in there, take the hit, and successfully complete the screen pass. Really well done.
Work to do here with a crowd at fever pitch. 3rd and 9.
Quick hitter here. It's complete.
Sometimes it's hard to figure, but you can live with incompletions in this situation. You can't live with these short gains that take time off the clock.
You know who loves it? This defense.
No choice but to go. Here's 4th down now. They'll go. Here's Williams. That is caught. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. So apparently some grabbing of the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just look in the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
Here we go. This is fourth down.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. 20.
And he's going to get out of bounds with the first down. So an ideal set of circumstances there. They move the chains, and they save that final timeout.
Absolutely ideal there. Get a good size play, get out of bounds.
Well, you saw the coaching there. That is taught and it is emphasized. Get out of bounds, understand your situation, as well as just understanding the game.
He'll look to throw. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete.
A lot of practice time, a lot of thinking goes into 2-minute drills, even on the defensive side. So now you want to make sure the guys understand. Continue to be aggressive, but make sure you're smart in doing so.
Ball resting on the 20. This is 2nd and 10. From the gun, here's Williams.
And it's caught. And he is across and in for the score. And now they can tie the game in the final stages with the extra point.
Or they can go for 2 and go for the win. And while it appears the heavy lifting was accomplished by scoring the touchdown, they're still down 1. That extra point is not a gimme.
Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And we may very well be headed to overtime.
This one, all we could have asked for. All tied, final minute as the kick's away here. And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. Back on offense, New York gets set to take over. And Charles, obviously not much time left. I'm curious to see if there's enough for them to get into field goal range and try to win this thing.
And partner, you and I both know the safe calls to kneel and just take it into overtime. But it's also very tough to pass up a chance to win it right now as well. But remember, if you do attempt that, it's got to be a big play downfield and still leave yourself enough time to get your field goal unit out there and kick for the win.
The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. And now out come the Giants. They are already in field goal range. Let's see how they want to play this, Charles.
And I have a feeling I know how they want to play this already. Run the football to the hash mark that works best for their kicker. They already have the field goal unit lined up, ready to run out there and go get it done. They practice this, they understand the situation, and with that amount of time, they can do it.
Let's see how they carry it over into the game. So it all comes down to the right foot of Graham Gano. This from 52, and this for the win. And that is no good. He hit it well from distance, but he couldn't work it back in. And a costly one there as this game remains tied here in the 4th.
Boy, that's a big-time letdown there. You work yourself in position to win the game, but the kick winds up no good. And now you've got to regroup as a team, get the energy back up, and get ready for overtime. And make sure you pump him up, too. He may be needed to try and win it again later.
He's going to float this over the middle, deep.
He throws it on the move, but can't connect as that falls incomplete.
Final whistle blows, and we need some extra time here to decide who will be the victor.
60 minutes, just not enough some days to decide who's going to win the game.
So the first crack here in overtime goes to the New York Giants as we are back underway. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They'll start with a run by Tracy. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
Opening drive of overtime. Both teams will get a possession, barring a defensive score. Here's second down. And that's going to be caught downfield by Slayton. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. It's a gain of 35.
And how about that? So many times the big play is what does it in overtime. They got one there, move the ball past midfield, and now you know they're on the move, looking to score the game-winning touchdown because a field goal won't finish the game.
Straight ahead, here's Tracy. And he's down into the red zone at the 16 after a gain of 16. First and 10. Well, CD, a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
A penalty accepted, and they move the ball forward. So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. They'll keep it on the ground. Tracy, and he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. And just a yard on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 4.
It went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
Hands it off out of the gun. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 3. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
3rd down. Here's Tracy. And he is into the end zone. They accomplish what they set out to do as they will take the lead here in overtime.
Did my eyes deceive me, or was that an I formation play that was just run there for a touchdown?
Little old school eye.
How about that? Was that a fullback, tailback, running it into the end zone?
Well, that's what that fullback's for, right? That's why you use that. Let him pave the way.
Oh, without a doubt. He's an extra blocker, and he did his job well on that play.
Gano the extra point, and they will take a 7-point lead. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Well, the Bears offense out there set and ready to go.
Now a first throw here in overtime.
A pass complete to Adunze.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot. And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover. If you're a defensive back, and they put over 350 yards on you, you've had a long day. The key to everything, if you're doing it without throwing interceptions or turning the ball over.
And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped, but I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10.
To the air, Williams.
He's got a man. It's his tight end. That's complete. A Chicago first down there on a gain of 11. Back-to-back completions, and that puts them in enemy territory.
And we're always looking for that elusive term, momentum, aren't we? And I think they're building it with the back-to-back completions. Now they feel like they can either take a shot or continue to build it the way that they're doing now. Safe throws, get it to their playmakers, and see what happens.
He'll look middle here and get it to Odunze.
And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. 23 yards on the play. He's padding his already great numbers here in overtime. More importantly, though, moving his guys downfield.
And I think that's exactly what's going through his head right now. Moving them downfield, putting them in a position to win the game. The stats, that's for the fantasy guys. I know they're enjoying that show.
His throw incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
They need a matching touchdown here to keep their hopes alive. Here's 2nd down. Here's Williams. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10.
To throw, Williams. He'll get this into the hands of Odunze. And he's going to get into the end zone. They respond with a touchdown of their own. And now decision time. Down by 1 here at OT.
All the receivers in the league are plenty good enough. Otherwise, they wouldn't make it in the NFL. But the ones that go to the Pro Bowl, they have refined route running ability.
Santos with the extra point, and we are all tied at 28. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away.
From the end zone is Smith-Marset. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22.
And New York set to take the field. And that last drive was very, very balanced, pretty methodical. You think they go that route again?
I'm always of the school that until they stop me from doing something, I'm going to continue. And I think that that's exactly what they'll look to do. But the beauty is the balance that they've created sets up opportunities for big plays. Looks like a run, turn it into a play action, and throw one deep.
And ultimately, this won't go for much, maybe a couple, but boy, he showed off that make-you-miss ability that certainly is in his arsenal.
But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
They'll hand it to Tracy.
Takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
And the Bears in the nickel. No, wait, they're in the dime. 6 DBs out there on 3rd.
Could play an exotic coverage.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A nice pickup of 23 on the 3rd down conversion.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down that they would be looking his way, and they did. for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. 2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's second down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
Here's 2nd and 8. There's a short one caught by Johnson. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And now we've got a 3rd and 4.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
Here is 3rd down and 4.
He'll look to throw. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. Call it a loss of 2 there on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down.
No surprise they decided to throw on 3rd down. A little bit of a surprise that they completed the pass and lost yardage on the play.
Here's Jamie Gillen now, on for a very important punt here in overtime. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. And now the Bears coming out as they get ready.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
Bills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other. Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
On play action, here's Williams.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. 7 yards there and a first down. Well, a little dinking and dunking that they're doing. At some point, is it appropriate to maybe take a shot?
It is, if you feel good about it. But otherwise, you do what a coach told me a long time ago. Take what they give you, but make them tackle. In other words, get it to one of your guys in space. If he makes someone miss, that could turn into the big play you're looking for.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great, because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush the passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
To throw, it's Williams.
And he's got the hook up to Moore. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
Charles, he's now over 400 yards passing in this one. It feels like he has a zillion completions. Just a very memorable effort from a guy that we thought could be in line for a big game, and he has exceeded our expectations.
That he has, and I'm not really surprised at all, because when you look at this offensive unit, they are loaded across the board. And, of course, the guy throwing them, he's a big-time player himself. They brought it from start to finish and really helped get the better of the opposing secondary.
They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
3rd and 1, partner. No need to be fancy there. Just use some force and move forward and pick up the first down.
2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10.
Working out of the gun, Williams.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40.
Partner, this is a pretty good drive they're putting together, and I know if I'm on the other sideline, that offense, kind of helpless, isn't it? Because they may not touch the football at all, because if they go down and score a touchdown, this thing's over.
Absolutely, that would write an ending to this script. We'll see what happens.
Looking to throw is Williams. Oh, he had a man open. He overshot him. It's incomplete.
Oh, man, if that's on target, this game's over. He led him just a little bit too much. And if they don't go on to win this one, that's a play that will be discussed around the city and on talk shows all week long.
Here's 2nd and 10. Throwing is Williams.
Looking left sideline, incomplete.
What would look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10.
To throw once more, here's Williams.
And this will be broken up and incomplete. Now a penalty flag down, and they may be going backward here.
So they decline the hold, and that's going to lead to a 4th down.
Here comes the Bears punter now as he's on to kick it away. Out of bounds and close. The question, was it a touchback? No. They'll say it crossed out at the 2-yard line. And the Giants ready to come out now.
Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
But no help there as they'll get to him at the 5.
And while they hope to continue this drive, it's really already mission accomplished. They've given enough space now that if they have to punt the ball, they've done so with that first run.
Now a timeout called for by the offense. They'll be down to just 1 remaining as we step aside here in overtime.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7.
They'll set up to throw.
Pass complete to Robinson.
And he'll be out of bounds up past the 10-yard line.
Third and 2.
Up the middle they go.
Tracy, and he will have a Giants first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 1.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. On first down, he'll drop to throw.
Left side, he's got Robinson.
Now a timeout called for by the offense. That's their 2nd and last timeout here in the overtime session. We'll be back.
Second and 6.
He'll drop to throw.
A throw out wide, going to be incomplete.
Absolutely nowhere to go with the football, and he's just going to put this one in the Hudson River. Maybe he's a little fortunate he didn't get called for grounding because that one was well over everyone's head.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. They're going to look to throw. And he's going to be brought down back at his own 6-yard line.
Brought down by multiple defenders, and it's a loss of 12.
1 overtime. How about 2? We need another. We're still even. We'll switch sides and have that 2nd overtime in just a moment.
Here's Jamie Gillen now.
And in double overtime, this needs to be a good one. taking on the midfield logo. It's a 39-yard punt, 8 on the return, and it'll be a short field for the Bears as they take over 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Swift. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down. They'll stay on the ground with Swift. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
Well, that play was over before it even got started. Thanks for nothing, huh? How about that? That sets up a very difficult 3rd down call now.
They need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on 3rd down.
This is Swift on the counter.
No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
So here's Cairo Santos on the field goal try. This to win it in overtime. And this one is no good. He missed it. And we will play on here in overtime.
Oh, that's so deflating, Brandon, because you know he was thinking to himself, just give me a shot. Just put us in a position to win the game and I'll get it done. But this kick, not on target, and we'll keep going here.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 43. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. That's going to be complete on the sideline, but, you know, that throw left him no room to run, and the good footwork nearly all for naught. Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down. He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork.
Types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game. Of course, you got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
That's caught left side by Neighbors.
And he's brought down. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a 1st down.
Now a tip of the cap to the man under center, Charles. He just went over 400 yards passing in this ball game. He's got the touchdown passes to boot, taking pretty good care of the ball. Just all around a really solid performance.
Yeah, just check, 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 and check, right? Because he certainly showed he was worthy of the trust that his team put in him. A handful of touchdowns to his credit thus far. Now he's just crossing off yardage milestones, and win or lose, his name has to be in serious discussion for player of the game.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
On the give, it's Tracy. To about the 26 here.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
2nd down and 6 now from the 26. Right back to Tracy. And he was able to shed 1 tackle but could not get away from there.
3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down? And I know you, with every carry, especially in overtime, you're just saying if you're that ball carrier, hold on to the football.
Hold on to it, protect it, but not necessarily settling, because you're trying to get to the end zone. You're trying to end the game right here. And I know the defensive guys poking, clawing, raking, trying to knock the ball free and protect their end zone.
Yeah, like you alluded to, especially this part of the field. They have the 1st down with that gain of 4 yards.
A lot depended on the spot there, and he got it, but it wasn't by much, was it? I remember Coach Madden talking about, depending on which foot the official used, that would tell you whether you had the 1st down or not. You want that upfield foot to be the one that spots the ball, don't you?
And you and I have the luxury of a couple extra views here in the booth, and he did get it, but not by much. And now it all rests on the right foot of their kicker. From the left hash, this from 37. And he got it. The kick is good. And they have won it here in double overtime.
A couple more minutes, and maybe the outcome of this one, Charles, would have been different. But ultimately, time runs out on the comeback, so it falls short. And they hold on to win this by just one possession.
Not the fourth quarter they wanted, but they did earn the win, and they'll be happy about that, and they should be. Now they're going to go back to practice, see what they can do to prevent a future lead from slipping away like this one was.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. With that, we say good night from East Rutherford.